Commission public hearing and regular meeting agenda, November 3rd, 2015. Roll call, please.
Bartlett's here.
McCoy here.
Burke here.
Sauer.
Strand.
Let the record show the commissioners, Natali and Street are not with us this evening.
That sounds like.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay.
Are you calling me?
No, we're not. No, we're not. Absolutely not.
We thought maybe you could still be sleeping. Thank you.
Okay. We have a public hearing advertisement. Sir?
Yes, public hearing tonight for the conditional use permit application for second and third floor residential units above the ground floor commercial at 207 Mason Avenue. The public hearing notice. I'll read this as a public record. The Cape Charles Planning Commission will hold a public hearing at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2015 in the Civic Center at 500 Caswell Avenue in Cape Charles. The purpose is to hear public comment regarding an application for conditional use permit for residential dwelling units above ground floor commercial at 207 Mason Avenue. Immediately following the public hearing, the Planning Commission will hold a regular monthly meeting.
Okay. Do we have any public comments?
Nobody signed up.
Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed. We stand now for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And since we've already covered the public comment reference, consent agenda. Any changes to this agenda? Anybody wants to make? Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as written?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Any feedback on the minutes? I read through them really quickly, and I didn't spot anything.
Make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Sir, reports?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in the interest of expedience, I'll just get to the point of my report. We issued no zoning clearances this month of October, that is. BZA did not meet, they had no business to attend to. The Historic District Review Board met on the 20th of October, regular meeting with 3 applications, relatively small projects, all of which were approved for certificate of appropriateness. The board continues the process of reviewing the Historic District Guidelines document. October 15th, Town Council regular monthly meeting, the council approved a resolution for the acquisition of the 70-foot by 100-foot, 105-foot parcel on Mason Avenue, designated as the future Strawberry Street Plaza. That comes out of the 32 Mason Avenue development that became project. We notified a property owner in R1 district about a back deck and patio over which were built without permits. Oh, and by the way, they also extended over the neighbor's property line. So we're working on that one.
Okay.
And also, staff's been working with, and Jen as well, has been working with interested buyers in R1 district. Now currently vacant lots and developing single-family residential home there. We've just gotten some incorrect information, including water and septic up on Washington. And also just some questions about setbacks and things like that. But again, typical stuff of interested in coming into town for all the right reasons and not necessarily get the best information. So
Yeah.
always call town hall first, I guess it's
Yeah. Okay.
the lesson learned there. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have a question, not related to anything you reported on, it's related to last month's minutes and the meeting of last month, where we recommended that the letter be sent to the county to include the property known as Old Hotel on Mason Avenue to be included in the enterprise zone. Has that been done, and have we gotten any feedback?
I don't know if there's any feedback at that level since the town manager.
The town manager, not the county?
Well, it would be the signature.
Okay, so you don't know if it's gone out yet?
I don't know that.
Okay. Could you follow up on that?
I think he has. I think he has a record saying that he would contact Kate Nunez, but I don't know for a fact. I believe so.
Could one of you just send out a quick email confirming
Right.
status? That'd be great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. The property owner was very pleased about being included in the enterprise zone, by the way. I had a
Really?
chance to talk to her, yeah.
It just seemed like an oversight.
And consider some property was not there.
Any questions on reports? Moratorium period? Old business, 207 Mason Avenue, conditional use permit application. Want to take us through it?
I will. The current status of the property is that all the approvals which were given in the past, including the last time there was a conditional use permit application that was approved by town council, was in December of 2010. Several years prior, the same property received another conditional use approval for the same type of development from a previous owner. The gentleman was in the military, he was deployed, his applications expired, he received an extension, etc. The property was then sold. Upon the sale of the property in 2010, the property owner was interested in doing the second and third story developments again, residential over commercial, which is the only conditional use allowed in the C1 district, in the downtown business district. He received that conditional use application permit in December of 2010. Out of that approval, a full set of plans were drawn, which are those plans up there with a different cover sheet on them. Out of the approval of those plans, building permits were awarded. We've got copies of those in your packet. Actually, the copy of those building permits is still on this property at 207 Mason, in case anyone's interested in seeing what the actual documents were in historical context. All of the gentleman's approvals expired. This wasn't a case of misfeasance or malfeasance, but this was a case of nonfeasance. The gentleman just stopped working on the project. Everything expired. The new plan with the new cover sheet was submitted in June of this year. It's stamped May, I believe May 13th and May 15th. And they wanted to start work again. Well, they have no approvals to be able to start work. So as a result of all of their permits, including a conditional use permit, as well as their building permits being expired, they have to start the process all over again. So I've worked with the property owner, and Jed has as well, building officials are free to work with them about getting ready to be up and going as soon as they get assuming they get approval to do so again, because those 12 months can run out pretty quick, and here we are again. Hopefully not 13 months from now going through the same process because everything else is expired. But they indicated that they're willing to get started working immediately. So that's where we are. It's in conformity with the comprehensive plan. I've included some of the text in the comprehensive plan about the goal for this part of town being commercial first floor, residential second and third floor, in keeping with the Main Street mixed use designation. So as far as conformity with the comprehensive plan was proposed, is in conformity with the comprehensive plan. Since this exact project has been approved in the past and has received permits in the past, frankly, I can't find any grounds to say that it shouldn't be approved again, which is my recommendation to the planning commission, is to approve this and then pass it to the town council. You've got the The documents that you got here, by the way, there's some drawings, this is just a small version of those sheets.
And he had to repay the fees again.
Start from scratch, the entire process.
Minus the,
Water sewer.
yeah, did they get credit for this?
They'll get a credit for the water sewer connection, that's it. Everything else is
Yeah,
fine.
because that's still, that's above the minimum fee.
That's what the old,
It's still-
the old form. Correct. The old formula.
Yeah.
Determine the fee, correct.
Do I have a motion to submit this to council for approval?
So moved.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, sure.
I'll second the motion.
Go ahead.
Then let me ask a
Yeah,
question.
absolutely.
There were rumors going around, and I had no idea if they were true or not, that while they were under construction, and it stopped because there was a stop for order being issued by JED for the town, because they were not building the walls properly.
Yeah.
Is that going to be addressed properly in this?
Well, yeah, if it's approved, then it goes through the building permitting process all over again.
And that would have to be a remedy.
Correct.
Thank you. I just want to make sure.
Yes, usually turns into a structural engineer gets involved and comes up with a remedy to fix it. Usually.
Right, which is what we thought was happening all along, but obviously never did. But I'm glad they're now looking to resume it. That's awesome. Okay, give a motion in a second.
All
Thank
in
you.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So passed. Good evening, Elaine. Comprehensive plan review.
Okay, I'm going to keep it fairly brief. I think you have in front of you the comprehensive plan, and as you all may recall, you gave some authority to go ahead and finish drafting some edits, and you will see those. They exist after page 44 in the plan from the title Community Trail. I'll point out the most significant ones, but I need to go back first to one we talked about. I just want to make sure the language is correct, because it involves a choice. That is on page 16 of the comprehensive plan, and if you print it out in color, you're going to see the two sentences in color. I'll let you have a moment to find it. Page 16. Okay, there's a green and there's yellow, if you have it in color. If not, it's the darker one on top is green and the lighter one is yellow. The original sentence said, the environmentally restricted layer represents areas that are environmentally sensitive and generally should not be developed. This prompted a comment that environmentally restricted areas should probably be fully protected, and that was when a discussion ensued about the environmentally restricted layer actually includes things like, water, wastewater treatment, parks, and things you might actually need some infrastructure for. So I did take a stab at writing a section that would actually address that, which you see below, which now says the environmentally restricted layer represents areas that preserve natural resources, water supply locations, water and wastewater treatment sites, and provide open space for recreational uses. Then we maintain the same sentence and then add portions of this area are suitable for open space uses and sites for public infrastructure with limited development to support those uses. Now, that's just trying to make that work, but I wanted to make sure that's something you all agreed with before we made a change of that nature.
Any comment?
I like it.
I do too.
So
It's a lot simpler than you can't.
But it's not clear.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So we'll strike the green sentence and keep the other
Mhm.
section. Okay.
Especially related to that. Okay.
Okay, so that's just the last, all the other ones we did go through at the last meeting. Now, I'm not going to go through every edit because there were a lot of changes we have already done this from, but if you see something you want to bring it up, I will address it. I wanted to point out the things that I think would be more substantive, and so the first one actually was the Civic Center. And of course, I immediately cannot find it. Okay, under community facilities, number 47, page 47 in the comp plan. I wanted to point out that I did add it in, and I put the words the Civic Center. And I know that has the community center, civic center, it's come up a couple of times, so I specifically put that in here. I feel like it's actually in another location where it says,
Okay, let's be clear, those are not the same, those are not the same facilities.
right, and this is
Okay.
where we're saying it has a civic center.
Okay, that's fine, that's
But
okay.
in another location, and I should have highlighted this, here it is, it's actually, I'm sorry, on page 54. And this is trying to get at the issue of the community center versus the civic center, and trying to
Mhm.
clarify. And I just want to make sure that this is clear because it has been something that's kind of been talked about quite a bit. Under this, we're saying establishing a community center or improving the civic center for community activities. Just wanted to verify that that's actually what the planning commission wants to say.
Did we talk about this?
No, these were the ones I
Okay.
had forwarded to draft.
I'm not, okay,
That's why I wanted to make sure that this is something you
No.
would,
coming from a non-voting member other than an tie, I don't agree with this. I think the whole red section should be just struck. If we didn't talk about this, why would we change it now? Why don't we just leave it alone? Anybody else got a comment?
I agree with you. I think
No, wait,
it's-
say,
Okay, what I'm saying, establishing a community center has been in the comp plan for some time.
Right.
Okay. I see no reason to go mucking with that. That's all I'm saying.
Right, why get specific at this point if we haven't?
Right, and especially if we haven't talked about it before. Go ahead.
Yeah, quite honestly, still have a favor for community center in the true sense of, it's really not.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't want to muddy that topic because that topic has got a whole rich history behind it and we don't need the attention on it.
that's why I wanted to.
Yeah, that's fine. You better ask the question than we get burned later, thank
Right,
you.
that's why I'm going through this, I'm going through the
That's fine.
And like I said, these are the ones that I had authority to try and address the comments, so
Okay.
that's where this has come from.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the next piece that I think is significant was, and this is something I really do want you to really look seriously at, which is page 56. And I know this has been a somewhat contentious issue, and I just want to make sure this is appropriate. Under water and wastewater partners, there was a comment made to maybe clarify the town's relationship with the Public Service Authority. And so basically I got onto the last minutes of the meeting and I tried to determine what the exact relationship was and just restated it. So I'm going to read it. I'll read the whole paragraph so you can hear it in context. Cape Charles is working with other political subdivisions and private partners to study the potential for regional water treatment plant and wastewater treatment plant projects. The protection of the environment and the natural resources are important, and a regional approach may allow more service with less impact. The town appoints a member to the Northampton County Public Service Authority, and in the past, the authority has examined several projects, one outside the town limits near Route 13. As of June 2015, the authority's regular monthly meetings have been suspended until it has business to conduct.
Well,
That's a fact.
Well,
It's fact.
yeah, right.
I mean, that's fact.
Yeah, right.
there were a couple of edits that Bob Panic had, which are included in the cover report, that it's not just necessarily treatment plant projects, but that they're water and wastewater,
Okay.
because it could be a wastewater collection system or a water distribution system.
Okay.
So
So they're both in there, that's fine.
water and wastewater, but not necessarily plant, treatment plant.
Okay, so we need to change the WTP and
water,
WWTP
right.
to water and wastewater projects.
Yep.
Okay.
And then, I know we all call it the Northampton County Public Service Authority. The actual name is the Eastern Shore of Virginia Public Service Authority. And then Bob and I both were a little agnostic on the last sentence. As of June 15th, the authority's regular meetings have been suspended until this.
Yeah, does that really belong in the comprehensive plan? It's-
Oh, the fact that the meetings have stopped?
Yeah, a specific reference to that project at all. I mean, why does that belong in the comprehensive plan?
Oh,
It's a good point. It's a good point. That's more status report than it is.
yeah, right, right,
A statement of direction.
yeah. That's
Strike
right.
that.
Let's take the first avenue as the first part of it, we appoint a member and all that.
Right, just the last sentence.
I don't know why we gotta get into specific
But that's in
issues.
June 20, we don't need to.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify, we're gonna change the WTP and WWTP to water and wastewater projects. And then we're going to strike the words Northampton County, we're gonna change it to Eastern Shore, Virginia. And then we're gonna strike the last sentence.
Was it Eastern Shore, Virginia, or Eastern Shore area?
No, Eastern Shore, Virginia.
He's
Yeah.
a Shore, Virginia.
Fine, thank you.
Okay. And then the final one that is a significant edit is on page 61. And this is the capital improvement plan list of items, which was taken straight from the adopted capital improvement plan. And they span time. So the way I did it was if it was expected to be started in the near term, they got one section. If it was expected to start in intermediate versus long range.
I have a comment. We need to say something that this is not prioritized or something. Okay, I said it's prioritized.
No, it is not valid.
Okay, but we need to say that because
Although I
somebody
think-
might take it to be prioritized. You
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Okay, I could change it to bullets with dots. Would that be better than saying in a sentence?
Yeah.
saying
Yeah,
something?
yeah, and that's gonna give her the numbering and
Yeah.
the
I'll just
implicit
talk about it.
interpretation of what the numbers mean. Yep.
And it's done by department, so that it literally was a list of things that was just written by department.
Okay, that's fine.
And those were the significant edits that I had. Now, if you all have had a chance to look at it, I just want to ask again if there's anything you saw that was problematic. But most of the other things are changing of tense and spelling things out a little bit better.
I just have one comment. I can't remember. I know council has had conversations about basketball court, including fencing. And I think at one point the discussion was, let's just drop it. And I don't know whether or not that was official or not. Do you remember, Lee?
Yeah, we said to drop.
I think
We talked about dropping
said
it.
to drop it.
And if that in fact is what happened, I think it needs to be removed from this list. That's all. It's item number
11. 1 dot, IB.5.
I took that straight from the capital improvement plan.
I know, but I.
There was discussion
We
following
didn't
it.
discuss that.
Yeah, I don't think we've updated the capital improvement plan, but we had a conversation for the last 2 months maybe. So it's relatively recent.
Okay.
So
Should I strike that number, what's currently number 11?
Well, okay, we had that discussion, the council had that discussion, because they're the owners of the CIP, not us.
I was just talking to Brent about this, the capital improvement plan, just the other day, saying that once it's been finalized, we need to provide it to you all to review. You want me to just check with them before we do anything and look at it to see if it's on there or not?
Yeah, that's, because I don't want to go editing on top of the council should be editing us.
good
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah, because I'll check with them, because I
that's
know
fine, that's fine.
Bob was finalizing it
Yeah,
after discussion with department heads.
she would have, but I wouldn't. Right, right. Okay,
Okay, well then I will coordinate with Lydia,
Yeah.
with your staff to get some clarification on whether that's removed, but
okay,
if I get the word, I'll have that removed. If
Okay.
not, we'll continue.
okay.
And those were the substantial edits. So I think at this point, we need you to determine if this is your comp plan with those edits, and moving forward to possibly,
You didn't get anything else other than Steve Bennett's stuff, anybody else?
No,
no.
no.
Right, yeah.
You got my input.
Yeah, get that monthly.
No, outside of planning commission input.
Well, you know what I mean, because, yeah, if you go through this whole thing again, where you sort of ranting and raving at the council meeting, it's like, look, we just went through this, you took all your stuff, you know, it's on the 11th hour stuff, you know what I mean?
Understand?
Can I ask a question? We've been doing this for so long
Okay.
that I forgot. But the code stated that in 2013, any locality in the Tidewater area would be responsible for providing a coastal resources management plan. Do you know, can you,
Don't you know, this is the only time I didn't bring the folder.
can you?
I'll go back and
Are we,
see.
are we okay on that?
Yeah, we did talk about that.
We did talk about it,
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay,
It's
but
gonna be on
is it somebody else is taking care of that for us, or what? Is it being done at the county level, and that's going to,
I really hate to say because I can't recall what the research showed, so let me go back and I'll provide that information and have it sent to you all.
I just don't want us to look like fools when we submit something, and they say, where's this?
Yeah.
Because, you know, the code says beginning of 2013, you know.
We did look at all of those issues, which prompted the
Well, I know the transportation plan was part of that.
And it was, yeah, there was other things we looked at, and I want to say that I went in and found either towns weren't part of it or something, but I want to go back and check.
Because I think there was something where it was done at the county level or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns, issues on the comprehensive plan?
Mr. Chairman, I have one on page 54.
Yes.
It's the paragraph just above where we did the strike through of the civic center. It's the sentence that begins and ends, several of the facilities are housed in inadequate buildings. I'm just anticipating discussion about
What was it?
a proof of that and what constitutes adequate or inadequate and what those facilities might be. It's a handful of words, but it
Yeah,
unpacks an awful lot.
Well, if you read it, it's bullet points, one would be the police department, and then that's one of those.
Well, the town offices are bursting at the seams right now. I mean, that, anyone who walks up there, becomes no-brainer.
It's, yeah, kind of a shot left.
Well, do we just want to delineate those things, or do we?
No, because I think if you start delineating, then people think it's all inclusive. And then if you forgot something, it's, yes, well, it's not the
Oh,
comp
okay.
plan kind of thing.
All right.
So this makes it a little bit more open for discussion. That's my approach.
No, discussion is a positive thing, I just wondered what, in other words, so if someone says site specifically inadequate.
How about EGs instead of a list, just some examples?
Yeah, insufficient office space in town hall is again, something that's
Yeah.
practically obvious.
Yeah.
And some of those issues about the police department and
Well, we just delete. We need to have that sentence.
I think it's a good sentence. I think it just begs to be asked such as, or prove it, or define inadequate, or what's going to constitute adequate, is adequate.
What about handicap accessibility?
That's a good one too, no elevator in town hall.
Yeah, if you pay a water bill, where do you go? It's downstairs.
I mean, there's no wheelchair access, right?
Yeah. But they don't have a ramp at the front door, do they? You get a little bump.
No, I don't think you can even get in there with a wheelchair.
Yeah, because there's no one over that bump. Too manhandling.
I think the stair steps are not 5 feet off the wall and all that kind of stuff. So.
Well, you could just modify the sentence and say several of these facilities are housed in inadequate buildings, comma, are not handicap accessible or compliant with ADA, et cetera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine, that's fine.
Very good.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Fine, maybe,
Yeah.
covers it all.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're wrong, you need to say handicap. That's actually, it's inappropriate. Politically,
Right.
in compliance with ADA
Okay.
guidelines or something.
So let me make sure I understand. Several of these facilities are housed in inadequate buildings or not compliant with ADA. And I'll spell out ADA.
And
And.
instead of and/or, maybe IE?
Right, or, you're not giving an example.
All right,
Just consider like the library. It is, I think, isn't it?
Well, why don't you just start off the sentence with, for example, 7. Several of these facilities are housed in inadequate buildings, comma, are not ADA compliant, comma, etc. Those are 2 biggies. Does that work?
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So read that again, Karen.
For example, several of these facilities are housed in inadequate buildings, are not compliant with ADA, etc.
that's fine. Any other questions, comments? Do I have a motion to have the changes we've discussed applied and instruct Elaine to wait on Libby's feedback on item 11 for the CIP before submitting this to council? Motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, oh my God.
This is going to be so long.
I thought so too.
When did we start working on this comprehensive plan? Does anybody remember?
When did that come on?
I've been working on it too, so I think you were working on it.
2013.
Yeah.
I thought it was before that.
Well,
No, I
that's-
started like in August, September of 2013 to do the initial review and then in preparation for ANPDC to come on.
Sir, do you want to take us through the voting process?
Happy to. It is November, so November is election month for the planning commission. The particulars are from bylaws Article 3, which are in the package. You're tonight voting for a 1-year term for a chair and a vice chair.
Over here?
Yeah.
What, is that?
No, this is an annual process we go through.
Is that a motion yet?
Oh,
I nominate our existing chairman.
there you go.
Okay, now, that's fine. Who we're gonna, since Mike's not here to either accept or decline, who's gonna go for vice?
Well, I think we might not, or at least.
Yeah,
We can,
we could,
You can still vote him
well, the man,
in.
he can,
I'm sorry?
You can still vote him in even though he's not here. if
All right,
That's what
okay,
you
that's
want to
fair.
do.
That's
I
fair.
nominate Mike for the vice chair.
I'll accept, I have no problem
I'll second it.
with it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah.
Do we have any announcements?
Not really.
I have one question. As part of that, we also should get our annual report.
In January.
All right. just-
I can get these Christmas.
Is that going to happen? Will we notify him of that April 11th thing? Libby, how you going to do that?
Or,
The basketball court
yeah.
item, you're
I can send it, once I make sure that it's been finalized, I'll send an email to all of you, including Elaine.
Terrific.
But you're saying that we think that's in the budget?
I don't think so, but I don't know for sure if it's been finalized. Because I know they've been working on it over the past few months, and then the last time Bob had sent it out to the department heads to have them review it and give them any feedback. And I've not heard anything since then, so.
That's just over.
I'm sorry.
I don't think, yeah, that's been, a few months ago.
Except when, before the whole old school thing. That's what I remember talking about, the basketball.
Yeah, I understand. I remember talking about it. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
A couple of years ago.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Any opposed?